Greetings, cannabis friends. Welcome to another edition of From Soil to Oil, a cannabis plant's journey from being planted in soil to being extracted into Rick Simpson Oil. So I'm going to show you the next two steps that I am taking after drying and curing the cannabis. So if you haven't seen the previous video to this, I show the testing results from the dried and cured cannabis for the white truffles and the sour OG. Okay, and remember the white truffles, just so you know, get some encouragement to watch that video, is it tested super high THC, 27 point something percent, the highest that's ever been tested on that particular machine. And then at super high terpenes, and at that time, it was the highest terpenes ever tested on that machine as well. And then he tested the sour OG, that was the white truffles. He tested the sour OG, and it tested at 22%, which is really awesome for an OG. And then the terpenes blew past the white truffles, and so it actually tested at the highest terpene rate, whatever percentage that's ever been tested on that particular machine. So super awesome material that we're dealing with, you know, and just wanted to make you guys aware of that if you guys weren't already. So I have a bucket full of the stuff right here. It's mainly the white truffles, the one that tested at 27 point something percent. And I literally, what I did was I took the herbs from being dried and cured in the tent and put it directly into the bucket. So I've been asked, like, if I got teeth and, and I sifted it and all this kind of stuff, which people normally do to their herbs. And I don't do any of that because I just want to put, I just want to extract what we got, what we grew, number one. But also, I've been burning weed so long that I just want really good herbs that'll get me high. That's what this stuff does. It actually gets me high. The stuff from the dispo doesn't get me high, even the top shelf stuff. Like I said, I've been burning so long. I've been taking RSO every day for over a decade. So it's really hard to get me high. And but like just smoking herbs is what I want to do. I don't want to be doing heat and all this other stuff. I just don't do that. I do RSO and I smoke herbs. So everything is in here, and it's the buds. Like these are like like huge buds, and that came off of it, and it's literally the all huge buds, and the colas and stuff like that were from the top. Like there's all top colas in here and things like that. It's super awesome. Like these buds, like this stuff tested at whatchamacallit, over 27%. Like really cool, awesome, like crazy crystally buds, and it smells crazy ridiculous. Like just touching it like that. I don't know if you can see, like there's a bunch of like resin on my hands, and it's all sticky now. It's crazy, but literally the colas and stuff like that, like that were on the buds are in here and are going to be extracted into Rick Simpson oil. Super important, because usually it's what they call like the unders, and then like the trim. So the sugar leaves that have a bunch of trichomes and resin and a bunch of valuable stuff on it, and then the stuff, what they call like the popcorn nugs, like the smaller buds that aren't as attractive. They still have potent and value to them, but they're not as valuable as far as like showing off to your friends. If it's a local grow or if it's a commercial grow, it's not attractive to sell as flour. So they would give that to me to extract, and as long as it's good and pesticide free, herbicide free, fungicide free, all that kind of stuff, then you can extract from that. You get some really awesome oil, from the trim and from the under, like the popcorn nugs and stuff like that. Super awesome stuff. That's what I take every day, right? But getting stuff like this is super special. I left the sugar leaves on it, just because they do have a bunch of value and things like that, and they just surrounded the buds. But I also did it sort of because, look at this stuff, man. It's super awesome, and I love the burn herb, so it's hurts me almost to put this into oil, but I am putting a little bit off to the side so I can burn some, and have a little bit till the next harvest, which is super awesome. I just did so the potency video is 2 videos back actually, and then one video back is the seeds I'm using for the next grow, which is like ridiculous. So I would encourage you to watch that. So like I said, this is mainly the white truffles, and there's about 3 trays or so of sour OG in here towards the bottom. So there's about 2.5 pounds in here. And then there's about 8 to 10 jars of this sour OG, okay? And this is the actual sour OG. And I have about 8 to 10 jars of that are the whole buds and stuff like that. So normally you would grind up the stuff, maybe break it apart really good, or some people will even put it in some kind of a grinder kind of a thing, or even a blender or whatever. But I'm not going to do that with this stuff for sure. I never grind it up a lot. I'll just break it up apart, by hand mainly. Anyways, that's just what I do because I don't want to damage any whatevers and release any like terpenes or whatever that could get damaged inside of a grinder of some sort. It's just the way I am. But sometimes it'll come to me like that. We still get good oil. But what I'm doing is I'm not going to do the whole process. I'm just going to show you what I'm doing. So let me step back a bit. So I mentioned that you go straight from drying and curing into the bucket. So that's the next step from the drying and curing stage. Is what so this isn't what like everybody does. This is just what I do. I don't really know what anybody else does. I sort of just develop my own little process here. And I have these food grade buckets that I have that are super awesome. I just literally tossed the stuff, like took it off the hanger that they were on because I had the stuff hanging off of hangers inside of the tent, and I just took it off of there, broke it off of those main branches, left some, some stems and branches on there, because there is value in those too. There's nutrition in there, even other than cannabinoids, there's other kinds of nutrition in there. But so to just directly end it here without any kind of like I'm taking off anything to whatever, and then just putting the lid on there and just throwing it away because I don't always get the chance to get to it, right? And then that also lets it cure a little bit more. If you just staying in there for a couple of weeks or a few weeks. So I think this has probably been in here for 3 or 4 weeks now. And then so I'm pulling it out and I'm going to shove this. So the next step from here is to put it in these jars, so I could introduce the ethanol to it, and then and then go from there, right? So we'll see that process in the next video. But so what I'm going to do with this and with this is I'm going to just just be putting it in the jar, sort of smashing it in there a little bit, and then break apart that way. And then it's so sticky and it's so just like juicy and everything. I took it to, for instance, I'm going to make an example. I took it some over to Mo over at Metro Grow, and I burned the joint with him. And he was like, it's dry on the outside, but it's like wet on the inside. But it's just because there's so much like resin and just like everything in there, all the juicy, gooey, sticky, stuff that you would want, the stuff that gets you high. So and it has medicinal value and therapeutic value and all that kind of stuff as well. But yeah, so I'm not gonna like I said, grind it apart. I'm just gonna put it in here. I'm gonna put some gloves on and break apart the bigger buds and just place it in here. And then I'm going to, probably do a double wash with it because it's not broken apart as much as you can. And we'll talk about that when I'm actually doing the washes because we want to make sure we get as much of the value from the plant as we can. And that's one of the reasons why people put it in the grinder so you can get it exposed as much ethanol to the plant as possible. So this is just a different way of doing that if you have a situation like this right here, right? Where a situation like this, meaning where you have this awesome, crazy, juicy, gooey bud that you don't want to put into a grinder and jeopardize the nutritional value of it, right? So we're going to expose it to it through what I call a double wash, which will expose, the maximum amount of ethanol to all the plant parts that are nutritious that can be extracted and then utilized for good in the Rick Simpson oil, if that makes sense. Okay, so the step going from drying and curing, going into the bucket, and then it goes through a little bit more of a curing stage because you just put the lid on, and I have these really cool lids. They're just they're airtight and everything like that. They screw on and they screw off. They're actually literally made for food. And it's supposedly not to leach and all that kind of stuff, right? And so the next step after that is to go from the bucket into the jar, right? And like I said, I'm going to be breaking the stuff apart. I don't want to do it too much right now because my hands will get all sticky, but I'll just be, breaking stuff off and throwing it in there. It's a little bit of a tedious of a process, but just be doing that, and I will be throwing a little bit of some, other stuff in there too. There is some smaller stems and stuff like that, that are along the bud. I'll leave those alone. But I'm basically just I don't know if you can see that, but I'm basically just throwing little bits and pieces. So it's smaller nuggets that you would normally burn, and but like I said, doing it this way that you'll see as the process goes on, you'll sort of understand like how I'm trying to preserve not just the THC and the other cannabinoids, but also the terpenes, the flavonoids, the isoflavones, that can be damaged by manipulating it too much and not just exposing it, and not just by doing the light breakage and then exposing that to the ethanol, what ends up in the jars, to the ethanol and doing my double wash and all that kind of stuff. So like you'll see that process in the future. But yeah, so I'm super excited. That's how I'm going to do that one. And then sort of the same thing with this. There's just like some super huge, crazy nugs in here. I mean, like awesome, crazy, like beautiful nugs inside of here. And I'm not opening it because it's a vacuum sealed as well. But so I don't want to break the vacuum until I'm absolutely going to be pouring the ethanol in or breaking it apart. So what I'm going to do is like there's 76.3 grams. So an ounce is like 28 grams roughly, so 56 is about just over 2.5 ounces, like probably 2 5/8 or something like that. And so I have about 8 to 10 jars like this. So I'm just going to basically, break this up apart a little bit, take it out of the jar, break it apart a little bit, put it back in the jar, and then, it'll look similar to what, they'll both look similar at that point. And then I'll be doing the next video to show you guys the ethanol wash. And just so you guys know too, like you're wondering, like, hey, is it going to burn any and stuff like that? I think I did mention I am going to pull, a little bit off, to the side for me to burn. I have probably about 3.5 to almost 4 pounds of just crazy awesome, white truffles and sour OG, and it's like better than anything that I know of that I can get from anywhere else. So it's going to take about 10 to 12 weeks from where I'm at right now to harvest and dry and cure the next batch that's coming up. So I am going to pull back probably a half a pound or so, like 8 ounces, because it's about 10 to 12 weeks. 8 ounces might last me that long. I generally do about an ounce a week, so 10 to 12 weeks would, way past that. But this stuff works better, so I'm smoking less, so like I said, I usually have to get, from other sources and stuff like that. And for just whatever, like this stuff is awesome, so, and it works good on me because it has the potency, not just of the cannabinoids, but of the terpenes, the flavonoids, the isoflavones. It just has more nutrition in it. So it just works better in every respect. So I'm expecting super crazy, friggin' awesome oil from it, right? From the RSO, like it's off the charts, crazy awesome. And I'll have it I'm gonna have it off separate a little bit, and actually have it tagged and from now on, I'm going to be tagging the different RSOs, and so we could have know the different qualities, and I can start testing which ones work better on people and stuff like that, and which ones get better feedback, like unadulterated feedback where people just contact me and say, hey, this stuff's awesome, that kind of a thing. I don't really reach out for stuff in the first place, so I just go by feedback that I receive. And I think it's time I have enough sources now of raw material to make RSO that I can do that. And just like, okay, I'm doing my own in-house strains, and that are super awesome and they burn well and they affect up here and they test super awesome. Are they going to have better response from people? Am I going to get better feedback? More people, calling me back and texting me and emailing me saying, hey, give me more of this stuff. It's working awesome. When people repurchase, that's when you're onto a good, something good, right? So I'm going to see if that's the case, or if or it's the same exact feedback as I get from the other stuff that I get. It's just popcorn nugs and sugar leaves and stuff like that, right? The shrimp. So because I am interested to see the response for the both. If I do get if it's similar response, then I'll just keep on doing small grows and produce stuff because I sort of like it, and then I like the effect of the herbs that's produced from it, and then I know the strains that it's coming from and everything. But if it's like where the in-house stuff is just off the charts, more response, than the other, then I'll increase the grow kind of a thing and go into more of a major grow kind of a thing. Not major, but like a major for me, more than a tent kind of thing, and more than a 4x4 tent, kind of a thing. And I'll produce more so we can just make more oil and get more of that kind of oil out if it has a better result, because that's what I'm all about, is having the most pristine stuff on the planet. I'm known for sourcing the best material, now for growing really awesome material, and then producing like awesome formulations and extractions, all that kind of stuff. And remember, I am the person that created all the formulations and the extraction process for Movida and MyFitLife, right? So so and I've been doing this. I've been creating formulations since 1992, right? It's 1992, and it's 2024 right now, right? And I've been working with cannabis and holistic health since 1987. So a lot of experience here. Just want to get that out of the way because people don't always know that about me. That I do have that kind of experience. I'm not just one of those guys that like, oh, this stuff is cool. I think I'm going to put it out to the world. This is my life. This is what I do for a living. But it's also, it's my passion. I could do anything else in the world, to make money. And that's sort of easy for me. But doing this is actually harder, for me as far as financially. But as far as the benefit that I got to the world with it, it has the greatest impact, right? And that's what I'm all about, is creating impact and also uncovering the lies, and deception that are, put it out in the mainstream, with the American Medical Association, Big Pharma, et cetera, and show the natural, relief, and that there's certain different conditions and things like that, right? So it's like the little guy fighting the big guy kind of thing, and that's basically what I'm all about. So that being said, that concludes this episode of Cannabis Friends and 420 Buds. Make sure to like and subscribe, if you enjoy this kind of content, and make sure to share the content out because we are shadow banned, everywhere that we are, that we have content put out. So it's up to you guys to sort of, put the good word out, and we do appreciate you guys for doing that. My name is Morentin. I'm the host of Cannabis Friends and 420 Buds, and from soil to oil. I hope you have a beautiful day. Peace.